Elmore, also back with us, the host of the Dan O'Donnell Show on Milwaukee's News Talk 1130, Dan O'Donnell. Erin, thanks for joining us. Dan, thanks for coming back. I think this has been one of the biggest factors when we talked previously about the shrinking gap, Erin, between President Trump and Joe Biden in these battleground states. When we see this stuff happening on TV every single night, and we don't hear an answer from Joe Biden or Kamala Harris on how they're going to stop it, that's one of the things that can really shift people's focus, is it not?
I think there's a big problem here in all these liberal cities because all they have is problems, and what they don't have is any solutions. Year-to-date crime in all of these cities is well up over 50%. We know that. And Portland, I would say to anyone living in Portland right now, vote with your feet and move, because it is utterly unsafe and only going in a worse direction. Their mayor is Ted Wheeler. He's up in November against someone that they're calling the Antifa mayor. So this problem is only going to get worse, and it's perpetuating more crime and more violence. Their district attorney, Mike Schmidt, also far left of center, and these cities have these mayors and district attorneys that do not prosecute crime. Crime goes untouched, the crime rate spikes, and they have no one to blame but themselves. But if they do, they will not get reelected, because the rhetoric on the Democrat side is not we need more police protection and we need to be tougher on crime. They have gotten themselves into such a quandary that they don't even know what to do, and they are burning their cities down. Well,
right up until Donald Trump fortunately sent in federal authorities to stop the violence, and actually had an effect until they gave up in Oregon. They used to call Ted Wheeler tear gas Teddy, Dan, because he not only is the mayor of that city, but he also runs the police department, the way it works. And he had no choice previously but to start cracking down on these Antifa protesters. But then it became politically dangerous to do so, and he tried to turn things around. But this is the type of leadership that Erin alluded to. There is no leadership in these Democratic cities. Otherwise, people would actually put their necks out. They would say, this might not be politically the politically expedient thing to do, but I'm going to go ahead and take a stand because I care about our city. I care about taxpayers in our city. When it comes to, what's going to stop the violence on the street and economic issues, Donald Trump is beating Joe Biden on both of those issues. Would you say for you as a voter, those are the two most important issues you're looking at this cycle?
I think it's hard to nail down to one or two specific issues. I think that the biggest demographic that both candidates are trying to grab is that suburban mom. And I think the suburban mom is very interested in their kids going back to school and their safety. So the defunding of the police is not going to play well. And that's why we had New York Mayor de Blasio, New York Governor Cuomo saying, okay, that's it, everyone go back to school. I changed my mind, because they saw the polling was so negative in that regard. So I think that these health and safety issues, and I think the coronavirus is going to be a big one, but we got to realize the election is still far out. We still have to get through these conventions. We haven't had any debates yet. We really need to give it some time before we start analyzing and digging too deeply into the issues.
Now, that's a good point. I tend to look at Ann. We're going to come back a little later in the program. Guys, thanks so much. We'll see you in a bit. Will college